The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.
All right, I'm Lisa Castro, and my co-host today happens to be somebody I'm really close to. I kind of like him. He's part of my inner community. This is my husband, Jaime Castro. Can you say hi, Jamie? Oops, you got yourself muted.
Hello there, folks. I thank you, Lisa, for this opportunity to be part of this good presentation. Thank you.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And the reason I wanted my husband to co-host with me this evening is because we have done a beautiful job of creating community around us. I started as a hermit when I was a client over 13 years ago on my health journey. And through the process of not only helping myself, but turning around and helping my best friend get started on her journey, just inspired me to take even better care of myself. And then over time, as I worked on the healthy mind aspect, I wanted to reach out to even more people. And we started having a community of fellow clients and coaches in our living room. And we actually created a whole different environment there, and just spread and spread and spread. And years later, the community that we have around us, the friendships that we have, and the being surrounded by people that are, being inspired and looking to you for inspiration, just kind of keep that accountability factor in there. So that's what we're going to be talking about as it relates to Community Day today. So it starts out with, we have 4 components to Optavia. Those that don't know, Take Shape for Life is evolving to Optavia over the next few months. We're still the same company. We're changing our name and just really making a difference. We're letting people see how we really show up in the world as different than anything else out there. And the reason why is, not only do we have a health coach and we have our Habits of Health system where people are going to learn that healthy lifestyle, we also have the healthy fuelings and how they've evolved to be so amazing and delectable. We also have the part that we call the Optavia community. And we've been doing community all along, but it wasn't really recognized so much that that's one of the things that we offer. And we're going to really emphasize that today. So as we talk about community in regards to the Optavia community, in addition to your health coach, because you're going to want to still reach out to your health coach and their health coach for that matter, we provide you with the support from Optavia community using the tools of our nutrition support team, your Optavia community meetings and events, and we'll be going into that in a little bit, and the Optavia community support calls, and this is one of those. And we'll be going into more detail as we go through the presentation as well. But first of all, we want to give you the definition of community. Have you ever really thought about community? It's used a lot, that word's thrown around quite a bit. The noun means, well, Jamie, why don't you explain what the community is?
Well, here it's talking about a feeling of fellowship with others, as well as sharing common attitudes and interests and goals. This is what you talked about earlier, is when people feel part of that community, it gives them more of a sense of meaning and purpose, and they're further encouraged by being part of this community.
Yeah, and a similarity or identity. So when we say have that common bond and we're all going towards a common goal of creating health in our lives and we're doing it together, utilizing those 4 components, we feel part of something and connected with something that we can identify with. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, it's like the ownership portion, like it's down there.
Yeah, and if you think of it as joint ownership, this is, if we're doing this together, we're not doing this by ourselves. That's when we have this mission of moving forward to create health, and it makes it more beyond ourselves and on to help others as well.
A stronger commitment, I believe.
Yeah, so every single one of us craves the feeling of being part of something bigger than ourselves. When we are on an island, well, there's some people I'm going to say probably want to be an island, but it's probably because they're not feeling real good about where they're at or not feeling really good about relationships. But most people say, you know what, I want that to be different. And that was me. I just didn't know where to turn for it. Well, now we have a place. So if you knew that you're part of something bigger, it's amazing how that will bring more meaning and purpose to your life. Matter of fact, there's a doctor by the name of Lisa Rankin that says finding your tribe is not only fun, it can also save your life. And she's referring to that community. So they have actually a major research study on that if you want to look up her study and finding out the importance of community. So we also have the optimal health community. That's part of what we've offered for all these years. And I'm just going to break it down a little bit for you. You're right in the middle. Whether you're a client or a coach with Take Shape for Life, you have a health coach team there to support you. Not only your coach, but their coach's coach. And it's a team effort. We call it a partnership towards creating that healthier life. And then
you have the health habits of health Zoom calls, as well as the healthy peers, the gatherings of Facebook team support, the Zooms.
Yeah, and then we also have a call that you were probably on prior to this one that's for client support that has nurses and doctors on it, and nutritional support. And we'll go in a little bit more detail as we go through the presentation. Then the habits of health system, and some of you are probably thinking, okay, what does that have to do with community? Well, if we're all going towards this lifestyle of creating health, utilizing the same system with the same leader leading us, it makes us feel part of that bigger picture. So let's start with that health coach. You know, it's amazing how that relationship there, the rapport that you have, that somebody that cares about you and they're enthusiastic about your results and the things that you're accomplishing, whether it's a scale victory or a non-scale victory, they're there to celebrate your successes and then introduce you to their coach so that you can celebrate those successes together and you know that you're really being supported. That's key because they're also going to be the guide that leads you to the rest of the community. So a client support call, I just realized, Jamie, I'm going to go back a slide because we wanted to do a poll. And I'm going to ask Angie Myers to come on and do a poll and read a question that if you're on the Zoom call, you want to go for it, Angie?
Absolutely. So I did just share a poll. I hope everybody's seeing it. But the question is really, where are you finding your best support? And we're getting some responses. So I'll read through these really quickly. Is your support coming from friends and family who are like-minded? Maybe from your health coach? Maybe from your client support Facebook page? Maybe from the Take Shape for Life Optavia community support, like nutrition support or the client support call that Lisa mentioned. Or maybe it's all of the above.
Yeah, so which one is it for you? Or is it the all of the above? I know for myself, definitely all the above.
Yes.
Is that for you as well, Jamie?
Yes, in the affirmative, yes.
It says we can't vote. All right. Okay,
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share these results, Lisa. All of the above for our group. That was the big winner here, and that's awesome.
That's a good sign. That means that we're really getting the word out about community. And knowing that we all have that, and I'm glad to see that there's family and friends who are like-minded. You know, that's only 15%, but if you think about it, that equates to about, you know, what would it be like if, gosh, you know, I just keep thinking, how could we grow that to where you could have your own support right within your own household? So kind of think about that as you're saying, as you're making changes, who else around you might want to make some changes with their health? So your health coach, it looks like, is a key component for a lot of you. And that's great. And again, if they're not there as much as you'd like them to be, reach out to them. That's part of their job. They have a lot of people that they're supporting most likely. And they might not realize that you're looking for some support. So just let them know. And they're there for you. And then also ask who their health coach is, and you can work together as a team. All right. Thanks for showing that, Angie. So are you able to close that, or is that something I need to do? I'll close it.
Yeah, go ahead and close it, Lisa, because it's not showing up on our side anymore.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about, Jamie, would you like to take this slide?
Just a second. Oh, I was seeing that other page. I'm sorry. The other component here, what we were talking about, is client support call. This is on your health coach's website under the tab that says tools and support. You can go there and basically copy the number there and listen to the support call.
Yes, and this is actually a phone call for the client support call. It used to be that it was we had a separate call for nurses call and another call for the doctor's call, and we've combined them. So this Wednesday nights, totally support for clients. And I love that we have that all in one night. So I'm glad you're taking advantage of it. So Habits of Health Zoom, that's what we're doing right now. And it happens to be a webinar well, I guess it's a Zoom tonight, so that there can be a little interaction through the polling or chatting. And you're welcome to add any comments into the chat, things that you've learned along the way, the support that you have for you. Encourage other people. All right, so when it comes to the Habits of Health call, this is listed on your health coach's website. It's also, and I'm going to show you where you can get more access to some numbers as we go through and describe a couple other items. And as you implement some of these tools, and you can even go back and look at some of the recorded calls as well. So that's going to be great, for each of you. Nutrition support. Did you guys know that we have a nutrition support team? Actually, registered dietitians and nutritionists, as well as a certified personal trainer, and even a behaviorist. How many of you are struggling with emotional eating? Now, we've had calls on emotional eating and triggers and things like that, and having that healthy mind. Well, we actually have healthcare professionals that can help with that as well. If you're a health coach and you have a client needing a little extra support, because we're not professionals. Well, maybe there are some on the line here, but we can refer them directly to the behaviors to Take Shape for Life, which I love that support. And it costs our clients nothing for these additional services. So I like to say we're not free, we're priceless, because you can't put a price on the support that we have in Take Shape for Life. So there's the email address to reach out. You can even, if you're experimenting with a lean and green recipe, you can actually send it to nutrition support, and they'll let you know if it's compliant or how you can change it up to make it compliant before you maybe post it on one of our client support pages. All right, so Jamie, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, this is a good wealth of resource, I should say, for our clients and our health coaches, and we've used them, and they're a good tool for us.
No doubt. And I just thought of something else that I love about the nutritionist is they're a wealth of information. If somebody says, "Gosh, I have a client that can't have soy," well, if you don't have the answer to that or know where to find it, you can call them and they can help you figure out something. Or I've had clients that have a really difficult diet situation just to work around what their doctor is requiring of them. They're fantastic for that as well. And another place that I found invaluable is I've known people saying, well, gosh, being in fat burning is not healthy for you. Well, they've got this great explanation for why it is amazingly great and how it spares muscle, and it explains why that is our program is so great for that. So that's another reason for having the professionals on our team, so we don't have to be that for other people. We're just the guide to lead them there. And then how about those first 30 days of integration? We're calling that Optavia 30. Because sometimes, there's so much of wealth of information that sometimes people don't know where to start or where to connect or when to bring things in. And so that Optavia 30, when we start there, then there'll be little tips every day, even a link to this Habits of Health calls. Some of you might have gotten that and just had to click on the little link and you were watching right then. So Mr. Castro, would you like to share how somebody could be part of Optavia 30 and be part of that?
A unique way and a great way is to text Optavia 30 to 99000. And you and your clients will be receiving tips from Optavia 30. And as Lisa just pointed out, you would receive notification for this presentation via Optavia 30. Great tool, great resources.
Yes, I get mine all the time. It's so nice to just click on the link quickly for the calls that we have and just see that healthy tip, and it might remind you to reach out to your health coach, things like that. And it's a way to just feel connected as well to that bigger community beyond yourself. Talking about bigger community beyond ourselves. Remember I said I was a hermit when I started. I was not in good health, and I just kind of turned all my relationships away and just didn't have the energy to even do activities with them. And instead, we have these healthy gatherings. We call them Health and Hope Nights. And your health coach might have a live gathering as well, or their health coach might. And even if you don't, there's lots of ways to do it. Because matter of fact, even when we're not in our house in Beaverton, Oregon, having these Health and Hope Nights that we've been doing for 10 years, we actually Zoom in like you're doing right now. And we're saying hi to the people in the living room. They're saying hi to us on the TV. We look like the Brady Bunch on the TV. They have an iPad facing towards the crowd. And so the virtual world is interacting with the in-person world, and I'm like, which one's which? But it's fun to be able to have that community there every Thursday night for almost 10 years now. And you wouldn't believe some of the amazing coaches that have started in the living room there that now have helped tens of thousands of people across Take Shape for Life. So it's really cool to know that we've made a difference in somebody else's life. And now these people are also turning around and inspiring other people. And some of them became health coaches that started out as clients, and they said, gosh, you know what? I really, was inspired. And then now they're the ones sharing their story, and they're inspiring others, whether they just want to do that to just be that inspiration, or some of them say, you know what? I want to actually do this and be a coach. So you might even consider that if you haven't already thought about it. Now, the things that you can do at those healthy gatherings, we've got shown a picture where we sit down and eat. We have a lean and green meal together. My hubby, if we're in town, he is barbecuing salmon. I think that's why we get crowds on those days, is because he makes amazing salmon. If you asked anybody, they would say, yep. And so we actually send out an invitation, and your health coach might invite you to something. If you're a health coach on the line, we actually use, well, I don't know if I can mention a third party, but just an online invitation, including Facebook events, that type of thing. And the health coaches will bring different lean and green recipes. Everything is compliant. And they'll put out the recipes of each of the different foods so that people can say, gosh, I want to take a picture of that so I can make that on my own. It's just great interaction. Sometimes the gatherings go a little longer than you would expect, but they're just having fun and interacting. So imagine the community you could build. And Jamie, I'm thinking of other people that have gatherings. I know that the Glicks do something they call Hanging in the Hamptons. I know that down in Arizona, they're creating community. Angie, who was sharing that polling question, she was just talking about she moved to a new community and got involved by just being, going to the local gym and meeting some people that way. So healthy gatherings, wherever two or more gathered striving towards health, that would be called a healthy gathering.
Hey, Lisa, can I jump in? We had a great question in chat. Somebody wants to know how long these events last.
It's up to the individuals. We go about 45 minutes for the actual telling stories, and we share maybe a 15, 20-minute presentation at the beginning, and it might be on a healthy topic. It might be about our program. We mix it up. It might even be about the support and how important community is. Last time we talked about emotions and how to recognize emotions in our body. And so as a topic, and we'll even use some of the habits of health topics for the group. And then it's interactive after that, and people talking about their victories and encouraging each other. There's tears sometimes shed and laughter, and it's just a joyous time. So that part's up to you. I wouldn't go much more than an hour, other than when people break and they might stick around and talk for a little while, or somebody might want to get started on their program. They just came as a guest, or somebody might be wanting to talk about, I want to look at coaching. And so that part might extend a little bit longer. And then we have so many friends, we like hanging out with them afterwards as well. So that's What's that, Jamie?
It's a great time. It's a great time of fellowship, and you just enjoy each other's company. So it's a good gathering. I
can't tell you how many people have said to us, if it weren't for this gathering, I know that I wouldn't be continuing on my journey. And I see one person right in the middle of the room, and she wouldn't mind me saying, but she's in the black shirt. Her name is Katie, and she's inspired so many people. And I can't, without a compliant statement, I can't say the amazing results she's had, but it's fun to see somebody lose just more, probably twice what I weigh, and just how that's transpired in changing her life. So it was that every Thursday night commitment that did it for her. So are there any other questions to address there, Angie?
Someone else asked really quickly how far they should be into their business before they might host an event like this.
I would say talk to your business coach, and if they're not as experienced or having one themselves, then I would ask them to say, who could we talk to about when is a good timing? And sometimes, you don't have somebody else's event that you can go to, so even if there's one other person. Jamie, do you remember when we first started, we actually had a few coaches at the time. We had 5 coaches show up and one person that was looking at our program, and she became a client, and then the next time nobody showed. And the next time, I think we had a couple. And then we were doing it twice a month to begin with, the 1st and 3rd. And then December came around. Everybody thinks this is the lull time of people don't want to get healthy, but this is when they're thinking about getting healthy. So we started having one every week, the week after Christmas through January. And it went so beautifully that we started doing it every week. And it's been going on like that for, all this time. So just where 2 or more are gathered. seriously, and then have them invite someone who invites someone. Because we've had people come for like 3 months that never even start our program. They just love the support and they're working on their emotional health. And then eventually, I'm thinking of one in particular, became a client. And then now she's a coach inspiring others and bringing guests. So you get to see the family grow. And then some of them start spreading out and having their own events. So it's fun. Hopefully that answered the question. Okay, Facebook support groups. Jamie, we started out with a small group here, didn't we?
Yes, and you can just see how, as you explained earlier in the earlier slide, how they just tend to grow. And the support, the encouraging, the fellowship, it just is what makes this community grow. And it's a big blessing.
So ask your coach if they have a client support Facebook page, because this and a secret group. So you can feel like this is a safe place to, most people are there to encourage and inspire others. Or, somebody says, oh, I've lost this much weight this week or this much in the last 6 months. And people are, oh, that's fantastic. And they're cheering them on. Or they're saying, gosh, guys, Halloween, I didn't handle it well. What do I do here? You'll get right back on, talk to your health coach. So it's a team of clients and coaches working together for the common good, and the coaches are being supported just as much as the clients, and they're, everybody's inspiring each other. You don't even know who the clients are and who the health coaches are sometimes. And it's just a really positive environment, and rarely do we have a spoiler in the group, because you come into it just knowing exactly what's expected. So if you don't have a client support group that you know of, ask your coach, and if they don't know, ask their coach's coach until you find one. And then it might be that you start your own, but you do want to have more people to work with, because if it's too small, you're not going to get enough energy behind it, and it's going to take a lot of time. My husband and I don't do much at all with ours because we have so many people in the group. So it's really good to combine with somebody in your support team for a Facebook support group. Okay. Jamie?
Well, a trilogy Zoom presentation, such as the one that's going to follow this presentation, if you copy the Zoom number down there, the 1133125513, and it starts, like I said, right after. But this is a presentation that covers the healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances. A good tool to use.
Yes. So if somebody wants to type that number in real quick into the chat, so others can have it too as we go through the next.
And nobody needs to go anywhere, Lisa. It just immediately follows in this very same room.
That's
super easy. Just hang around with us.
All right, good. And Angie, since you're on, why don't we do poll number 2?
You got it. All right, I gotta let me switch to my other poll. Let's see here. All right.
I can actually see it, so I'll go ahead and read it.
Well, I think we are, there we go. I think, Don, Lisa, we are seeing the first polling question. Let's try this again. Can you see it?
I can.
Yay.
So guys, watch, here's the question. Why is community important to you? Personal support on my own health journey, a sense of belonging, being inspired by others, inspiring others, knowing I'm making a difference. All of the above. We'll wait a little bit. And again, Jamie, you and I can't vote, so we're going to have to wait for everybody else. I want to put on that music, what's that Jeopardy music right now. Okay, we'll give it just a few more seconds here.
I voted anyway.
Okay, now that everybody's got their poll in, what did you vote for, James?
All above.
Me too. All right, what did everybody else say, Angie?
We had a lot of all of the above, if you can see the results, but 83% all of the above. I love it.
Okay, and if that's the case, if it's all of the above, how much are you actually connecting yourself with? How much are you actually getting involved? Are you waiting for it to come to you, or are you reaching out and being part of it? I know that on a Facebook page, we have people that will kind of be the fly on the wall for a while until they feel comfortable. So one of the things, if you do have a client support page or you're part of one, introduce somebody that's coming on and saying, hey, I want everybody to welcome so-and-so, so that they feel part of the community right off the bat and know that, then they can start commenting, great job, things like that. And then they feel connected, just like you'll feel connected when you do the same in your Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so other things that you can do is we're winding down here, but at the same time, this is actually the climactic part if you think about it. Now what do you do with that community? Healthy peers. Who else? Just like we were talking about, Angie's found a gym now that she's working out with and meeting people there that are like-minded. I'm seeing this, I think Tia Wood is in this one, if I'm not mistaken, and they did this mud, what do they call it? Mutter or something, right? Anything that gets dirty like that, I'm probably not going to do, but I love doing all kinds of events like that. We've done zip lining together at events. People have gone to zoos together. See my husband on the bike there. We did an athletic event called the Wild Canyon Games with a whole bunch of health coaches and clients and Nike people and people from around the world that came to that. But we were all doing something for this together. And then I see a team of our coaches at Stewart Falls at a leadership training. You know, it could be anywhere from clients to friends to family to fellow health coaches to other clients that are on the same goals and mission with you. It doesn't really matter. But if they're striving for health, that's who you hang around with. And guess what? That's going to lead to that healthy lifestyle. So those, the health coaches on the line. Jamie, do you remember some of these events and trainings we've been to that have just been amazing sense of community?
Yes, I look forward to some of these because it's kind of like a family reunion. Some of these folks had not only what came from clients and health coaches and now are friends, but I think I look at them more like family. And that's the big reward of this is experiencing or having an experience with others.
Oh, no doubt. And having fun doing it and knowing that when we come together as a community, then we can have more impact. And that's the part that I find absolutely amazing too. And having fun doing it is even better. So actually, health coaches on the line, if you have ever been on one of these incentive trips where we're rewarded for helping others, as Dan Bell likes to say, we get to do well by doing good. If you've ever been on one of these, will you type it in there and just say, yes, it was amazing, or whatever you felt. But we've traveled around the world doing different things with our peers, and you can see Dr. A on a boat in Puerto Rico, a ferry that we did, and it's so neat to hang out with our coaches and friends and just fellowship together and get to know each other. And you do that in that community. It's pretty cool when you feel like you have that sense of belonging. Okay, so here's our desired outcome. We're going to just kind of summarize it all. Integration, being involved, connected, putting all the components of what we have to offer, not weight loss, but about maybe losing weight, but putting in the habits of health, using your health coach as your guide, using the healthy fuelings, getting involved with the habits of health, creating a community of like-minded people. It's using nutrition support, being on Zooms where you're learning more about your own health, your own journey, reading, developing yourself, working on your healthy mind, all of the things that we're talking about, integrating yourself, using the Optavia 30 to have some reminders on a daily basis. Get educated on a healthy lifestyle. And then that's going to reinforce healthy behaviors and thoughts. And it's also going to be that accountability. If I hadn't stood up in front of a room every Thursday and know that people were looking to me for inspiration and saying, man, if she can do it this long, maybe I can too. It gets me up in the morning and exercising. Well, I don't feel like it sometimes. It keeps me from grabbing that candy bar when oh man, a little stressed today. I could really use that, but I don't grab it. I do on occasion, but not from stress. I've learned to just do it as a special treat with my husband. So all of that's there. And then along with that, inspiration to see beyond diet mentality. That's what we're talking about, those beyond scale victories, but non-scale victories, the light, the excitement, the sense of possibilities for the future. And you see other people telling their stories and seeing them having the results. That's why I'm starting to live more on life out on Facebook so people can see, 2 hours walking on the beach, meeting people, having fun, going out on the jet ski, doing things with my husband, we date very frequently. I don't know if it's called a date if we might do it every day, but we get to do this together, surrounded by like-minded people. We talked about that a lot. That's going to encourage and inspire you to keep going on your own journey, mutually supportive environment, having that sense of belonging to something bigger than ourselves. That is huge. That meaning and purpose, they say that's what leads to longevity of life is when you have meaning and purpose in your life. So involvement can make a difference in others' lives too. When you're involved on that Facebook page or you're involved in that group, you're bringing that healthy recipe or you're inspiring somebody by sharing your story, it makes a difference. You don't even realize sometimes how much impact your story can have on another person, especially when you can spread it to people in your immediate world, so that when you wake up in the morning, other people are on that same health journey with you, and you can be contagious in a good way and pass that on. Your coworkers, just spread it. Gosh, they don't even have to do our program in particular, just create health. But when they can do ours, we know that they're probably going to have greater success because we've got all the components for long-term success. And then the desired outcome also is being an inspiration to others, like I was saying. And then you're exposed to what health coaching is about too, so you might even want to consider coaching. The reason I bring that up is part of long-term success for a lot of people is knowing that they're not only doing it for themselves, they're doing it for others. Whether you're doing it to get paid as a coach or you just want to inspire others, that's totally up to you. But knowing that bigger picture is huge impact beyond, that little ripple effect. I'm thinking when I woke up in the morning and I said, I'm going to do this program, and then all the people that have been impacted because one person said yes, and that could be you. So, in life, you get what you put in. When you make a positive impact in someone else's life, you also make a positive impact in your own life. Wouldn't you agree, James?
Yes, it just, when you think about it, that you're doing it for others instead of yourself, that's when you have a mental shift.
So true. So we want to bring Angie back on because we're going to go right into the trilogy call, and she's going to just kind of introduce that. So I just want to thank everybody for being on the call this evening. Hopefully it was great, and you'll go ahead and pass the recording on to people that will show up on your health coach's website. And also, if you're not registered for the podcast, Angie can probably share with you how you can do that. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
The preceding audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Take Shape for Life health coaches or clients. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to healthy living and weight loss will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a physician before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Take Shape for Life team.